Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be getting ourselves the Infinity Ingot. And I hope you guys are ready. So today I have been so busy. I've had my Minecraft client opened up overnight after I set up this EMC farm. And believe me, this EMC farm is quite fast. And it doesn't require like too many things. You don't have to create a dimension or anything like that. You don't have to have an emerald dimension. Honestly, this is faster, in my opinion. And I could also speed it up by just adding more roosts. And I think that would go well over the ability that this crafter can do. But what I have is some translocators. If you don't know how translocators work, it's kind of interesting. So if I click this is how its default state is. It can only travel one block in distance. So much like this, or it can go above, or it can go across, or anything like that. But they can exist in the same block space, right? So by default, this is here, and it's not yellow. I put glowstone in it, and I think it does stacks instead of individual items, and that will speed things up. But what you want to do is when you right-click on the center, it'll open the gate, and then it will travel to the nearest translocator. So with that being done, all I gotta do is open the gate here. There's items in here. I want to transfer it into this. I just open the gate and the items start flowing in. As you can see, they are constantly flowing in. And these things are really fast, especially for single player. They're currently disabled, or at least I have them disabled on my server, mainly because they do have an issue. This like in between block, it's not actually named by the translocator mod itself. It's something totally different. And that is for some reason the issue. That causes issues on the servers. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about this. So it goes in here, it turns it into blocks of emerald, just so it's compact, and then it throws it in here. And I'm using octuple compressed sugarcane, which is, I think, the highest EMCable value item in the game. I think so. Pretty sure. This is 1 billion EMC. Compressed cobblestone is pretty high as well, octuple compressed, but it's nowhere near the EMC value for sugarcane. But as you can see, we are producing quite a bit, and just this stack here is 9 billion EMC, and this has only been running for about 2 hours or so, so it is producing pretty fast. I already have 43, now up to 53 billion EMC stored in here. Alright, so let's talk about something else. Right here, we have singularities, right? And I've been working on each one of these singularities. We're going to need quite a bit, because as you can see here, let's take a look at this. To make the Infinity Catalyst, which is EMCable, we need all of these singularities. And I have all of them except for this one singularity, which is fluxed, the flux singularity. And I'm going to show you how to get that. And then also I need to make iridium. Block of steel should be pretty easy, and dark steel we already have as well. So Enderium is something that we're going to definitely make today as well, which is all a part of thermal expansion. So, to get into thermal expansion, to get this block, we're going to need a magma crucible, which is going to need nether bricks. So, nether brick, so we can actually make the brick itself. And I think that's about it. Really, all we need is nether brick for the magma crucible. I think that's the main thing. So, at thermal expansion, we're going to need also, well, we already have a way to pulverize stuff. So that's not a big deal, and I only need enough to get a block so I can EMC it from there. So, with that being said, let's get this done. The imbuer was not something we need, but we do need fluid transposer, which is going to require this in a gear. Lovely tin gear. Make a couple of those. Fluid transposer. There we go. We have this machine frame. I don't know if that's stored in here, but we're definitely going to get the machine frames. There we go. Now we have some machine frames to work with. We should be good. We need copper gears for this, a bucket, and also redstone reception coil, which I think I have saved. Redstone reception coils. There we go. Perfect. There's our fluid transposer. And I'm going to make this simple. I'm only going to do one because we only need one for right now. And then I also need a magmatic crucible, which I think is on the next page, right? Where is the magmatic crucible? It should be somewhere in here. I'm used to seeing it. There it is. I literally scrolled right over it. And this is going to require hardened glass, which we haven't actually gotten into, surprisingly enough. And that's going to require pulverized Avaritia. This is a custom recipe. Because normally this does not require iridium. Do I even have iridium? I have to have iridium. Otherwise, this is like a gate that I didn't even know existed. No, that was just for hardened. That must be for a specific type. Yeah, it's for a specific type, because this should technically require hardened glass, which is just glass. And let's make an induction smelter. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself here. We just need a regular induction smelter, and I think I might be able to even make it outside the induction smelter. So, obsidian, let's pull it out of here. Obsidian, and then we're also going to need lead. And I think it should be pulverized obsidian, right? And this should be processing. Oh, wow. That makes that noise? I've never heard that make that noise before. But that goes really fast with this nearby, by the way. Oh my. I wasn't expecting that. Nor was I expecting it to make that noise. I guess when it's sped up like that, it makes that crazy noise. Wow, that was unexpected. Okay, let's head on over here. So hopefully I should be able to combine these two things in an alloy smelter. Okay, maybe not. It'll have to be done specifically inside this machine. Inside of an induction smelter. Okay, Invar. Do we have Invar? I have some Invar. Need some sand and some flint. Throw all those items in. And then I should be able to make an induction smelter, right? Let's make an Invar gear. I think I already have the copper gears made up from earlier. Nope, need copper gears. Perfect, induction smelter, complete. Okay, so we'll get a point on this induction smelter. I'm just going to set it over here near this, because this will actually speed it up significantly. Right, and that's on the right power setup. Should be receiving some power. And we just need to hook this together. And that should... It's definitely going a lot faster because of these ticks are increased. But that should get us the glass we're needing. There we go, hardened glass. Perfect, and then we can save that. So let's grab some hardened glass, and then we should be able to make the magma crucible that we were trying to get to in the first place. We're going to need the induction smelter anyways, but the magma crucible itself is definitely something that we're going to need now. Perfect. So we're getting pretty close, right? We're getting everything we need. If we take a look at what we're actually going to need for Enderium, it's actually not that hard to make. Enderium is one of those things that's not too bad. We can either do it the Ender IO route, which is the base, which I think would probably be the easiest way to do it. Which we're going to need platinum, ender pearls, and lead. So, platinum, ender pearls, lead. We'll do it the Ender IO route, probably the easiest way to do this. That's going to make the base. It should take a little bit of time. Yeah, there we go. It's being affected by that speed boost. And once we get that done, that's going to be pretty simple. We just apply that with some sand and bam, we get that. So that should take but a couple seconds, but we're working towards Redstone Arsenal, which is this stuff. So let's take a look at this. Induction smelter. We're going to need the flux blend. We're going to need some electrum, which we do have. I think we have some electrum. I guess not. We need gold and silver for that. And we can get that over here. Let's go ahead and throw those away. Make some electrum. And we'll also grind down some electrum. I can't believe. Can't believe that makes such a ruckus, man. That makes a lot of noise. It might be that upgrade that's inside it as well that's doing that. Alright, so induction smelter, we're making this. So we need destabilized redstone, which we're going to need a magma crucible on top, not on the bottom. Magma crucible on top of a fluid transposer. I guess it really doesn't matter what face it's placed to. That should be receiving some power. We grab another point just to pull some power. And there we go. Now that's all got power. Let's get a bucket. And we're going to have to make enough of this. So let's get our fluid transposer down here. We need to open that up, throw those in there. These are going to get ready. We're going to configure this. Let's clear the configuration. Dump. Auto input. This will be cleared. This will be accept. Auto input. Now these should be ready to go. Let's get some redstone in here. And look at that. That's really fast with the upgrades. Unfortunately, it looks like the power has a hard time keeping up because the power apparently isn't being affected. But boy, is it going pretty fast. And we need 1 bucket worth to get this. But we're going to have to keep this process going because each one of these buckets give you 2. So we need at least 5 buckets worth of destabilized redstone in order to get what we need, right? So we need this. Because for some odd reason... Oh, we need electrum blend. For some odd reason, this is not EMC-able. The electrum ingot is EMC-able. Never mind. I thought that wasn't actually EMC-able. Well, that's perfect. Because that means we can take this now inside of a reduction smelter with some sand, and we pretty much have the block we need. So, all we need to do now is take this out, throw in this and that, and bam, we have the flux infused, or flux electrum ingot. We can store that. And I'm going to show you exactly how I set this whole system up to get all these singularities. Awesome. So, this is the block we need. I'm going to take the rest of these, and I'm going to show you what I did. So inside here is a completely cleaned out neutronium compressor. Each time I made one, I had to break this block and then replace it. And so I went through each and every one of these, and you have to use the block, and I'll show you exactly what I did. So inside here, I'm going to use a little bit of EMC. I'm going to take the octuple compressed cobblestone. That is 1 billion worth of EMC. And I'm going to replace this up here, right, like this. And you can see just with the amount of EMC stored, I may not even need this octuple compressed. I'm going to flip this switch right here, and this is going to allow items in. And look at this. It's now going to start building up in here. This is going to be so fast that it's going to constantly keep these items in. And look how fast this is building up. Yeah, that's insanely fast. This is probably about as fast as you're going to be able to get this machine to go, because this is upgrading this by 18 ticks every tick. So, yeah, it's like times 18 on the amount of speed that this is being produced at. And I don't know if these are acting on each other. I don't know if this is upping it even more, so this might be 18 plus 18, so giving you 32 ticks of a boost. I don't know. But you can see that this is like incredibly fast, and it looks like it's keeping up. It looks like as soon as the machine is creating these blocks, it is using them. So you can't beat that. Like, this is about to be done, and then we're about to make this singularity. Like, no joke, we are almost done with getting infinity ingots. It's kind of crazy. So this is about done. There you go. All I need to do is just shut this off so we don't waste any more EMC. I'm just going to convert this back, and it's going to consume all of them, so that way we don't really need them. I'm going to grab me a block of them, though, because we can use those later on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for getting all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and store some of the stuff that we can save. Everything else can go in here. And yeah, I'm pretty much just making these at this point, because I need a lot of EMC. 53 billion EMC sounds like a lot, but it's really not. And I'm going to show you why here in just a bit. So I'm going to pull out this singularity, right? That is one of the few singularities that we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the rest of the singularities. There we go. That I've been making. These guys are kind of ridiculous. Each one of these, like no joke, required that many blocks to make of that material. Emerald was probably the hardest because I had to let the like EMC build up inside of one of these because I'm using emerald blocks, so it was a little bit different on how it worked. But I'm gonna pull these all up off the floor if they let me. There you go. And these are all the singularities needed in order to make our catalyst, which is what we're about to make. So back to Avaritia. We're working on the infinity catalyst, and for that we're going to need diamond lattice. We're going to need the crystal matrix. We're going to need a pile of neutronium. But we get into these two things. These two things are going to take a little bit of time to make on themselves, but I want to get the rest of these few items done. So blocks of iridium. That should be, or inderium. I think it's inderium. Right? Didn't I pull that out? Oh no, the base went inside the chest. There we go. And then we're going to need sand. Sand for that. We'll throw these two items in with sand. And that should... It takes a little bit of time, but that should definitely get what we need. Now, these stews and the meatballs, those are actually kind of cool, and I have been working on how to get those off camera. I switched my farm over to a Pam's Harvestcraft farm. I literally have everything from Pam's Harvestcraft using a market, and I also killed every animal that you can get from Pam's Harvestcraft in the market as well. So that was something else that I worked on a little bit off camera. So we have this. This does have an EMC value, inderium. So all we need is 9 of these, I do believe, for a block. Also we need steel. Need 9 of those. And we also need dark steel, which will need 9 of those. So we've pushed through all those mods to get to this point, and it's definitely paid off. Like, we've done all the mods that enable us to get to where we're at now. There's the dark steel. So these are all the materials that we're going to need for later on. Alright, so let's start working on the ultimate stew. This is going to require a few things. So we need water essence and fire essence. I do have those produced. Water essence and fire essence. I went ahead and made those seeds. That was not too difficult to do. Then we need wheat, carrots, potatoes. So let's get that. Wheat, carrots, potatoes. Just like so. And then we're going to need dragon fruit, which comes from this tree from Pam's Harvestcraft, which I do have here. Alright, so we have that done. Then we're also going to need a beetroot, garlic, soybean. So here's our soybean, of course, but we need beetroot, garlic, and soybean, like we just have. We're going to need an eggplant, broccoli, right? Eggplant and broccoli. That's all done. Now we get into a couple other things, but I'm going to get past these actual foods that we have to make, and I'm going to start doing this. So pumpkin, that's going to require pumpkins. Just a few of them. And we actually combine them like that, and that'll give us an actual pumpkin. There we go. So that's a part of the main food. Then we also need chorus fruit, which we can get here. Then we're also going to need beef jerky, which we'll worry about that in a second. Raw beef and raw pork chop. Raw pork chop and raw beef. And these are all the like single items that we can get. So everything else may change here in a minute. So with that being done, I think we're just about ready. Now, epic bacon is something we already have, because that was an item you get through a chest. So that's pretty easy to make. Carrot stew is not bad. You need to make these Pam's Harvestcraft materials. So I made a pot already, and then we're gonna start with the parts that require multiple things. So bone and that can get you what you need here, but you can also do some of the beans and stuff from Pam's that'll get you stock. right? So we have stock. I'm going to throw the stock in here, inside our system. And then we're actually going to make the rest of this. Now, I do have soy tofu. Soy tofu can be made by taking soybeans inside a presser, and you'll get the tofu out of it, which I prefer doing. It's way easier to make your food that way. So, there's our carrot soup, and that was pretty easy, right? Now we get into meatloaf. A little bit more complicated, but we do need a juicer and tomatoes. That'll give us ketchup, which, of course, I don't know if anybody loves the meatloaf, but man, I love meatloaf with ketchup on it. It's so good. And then we're going to need bread, which I already have. Bread can be made with barley if you want to skip the Pam Harvestcraft stuff. So I went ahead and went that route, so that gets us meatloaf. You also need bakeware. Pretty easy to get. All this was done in preparation, so just keep that in mind. Now, the beetroot soup is actually pretty complicated in its steps because it does require black powder. That we're going to need a special thing for. You need a tree to get peppercorn, and that's how you get pepper with Pam's Harvestcraft, is through a tree. And you can get all those trees with the market using emeralds, so just keep that in mind. So let's get our black pepper. That was simple, right? And then we're going to need milk, which I already have in here, a pot, and just a couple of things from Pam's Harvestcraft. So there's the stew, but we need to up that one by putting it inside of a crafting table for some reason, and that gets us a different version of beetroot's stew, which apparently is Minecraft. It's weird. I actually just noticed it like converts it to Minecraft's version. There's no other crafting recipe for it either. Beef jerky requires salt, and to get salt, you actually need a pot and some water. So let's grab some water. We can use a bucket of water here. And that'll give us salt. And that'll allow us to be able to make jerky, which we can use like any kind of beef or anything like that. And that'll give us beef jerky. And then we have the bacon, and then up to rabbit stew, which is very easy to make. There's our rabbit stew. So, if we pop it over here, we should be able to make all of this, right? We're just missing essence, neutronium, so that's pretty simple. Let's get our essence. We need 1 fire essence, 1 water essence, and then we need neutronium. Now, I have a bunch of this neutronium because this, of course, has also been running along with my EMC stuff. So we do have a lot of it. A bunch. So I'm going to have to break some of this down in order for us to have what we need. Right, so when we look at this, not this one, but the stew, we just need a pile, which is really tiny. Gets crafted down from that. And then that should be it for our stew. Look at that, we get 4 of them for that. Pretty nice. And this food is kind of ridiculous. Look at that, 400 on the saturation bar. And also the same for this, which this is actually a lot easier to make. We can make tons of cosmic meatballs. It's insane. So let's get some raw food. That's really all we need here. We'll get raw rabbit. I don't know if raw chicken was one of them. I'm going to grab it anyways. And raw fish and raw mutton. It's just a bunch of raw food. And we'll throw it together. So it's just raw rabbit, raw pork chop, raw chicken, and raw beef. And raw fish. And then we also get a pile. And we can make a cosmic meatball. That's pretty simple, right? Alright, last but not least, we also need to make the Enderest Pearl. Which will require ender pearls, endstone, neutronium, and a nether star. Pretty easy there as well. Nether star, end stone. Go back end stone, and ender pearls. And I think that's enough to make this. Yeah, there we go. And there's the Enderest Pearl. So, all we need now is to pull out the rest of our stuff and make sure everything else is sort of sorted away before we make this. Right? Should be pretty easy. We're making the Infinity Catalyst, so we're going to need a pile, and we're also going to need a nugget and one of these guys. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get that turned. That turned. We only need 1 of each. And we also need only one of the ingots. And everything else is just stacking these items that we need. So, singularities, Avaritia. Let's get the singularities made. Or thrown in here. Then we also need the diamond lattice, which comes from the diamonds. I think we can make 1 of these. There's a diamond lattice. And then we also need the crystal matrix ingot. And then we need the blocks. 1 block of Enderium, 1 block of steel, and 1 block of dark steel. And is that it? Is that all we need? I think that's all we need. Oh, we need a record. Which I think we have those stored in here. Right, we need a music disc. So any music disc that is shattered, right there. You just need one of those parts. And I think that's it. Guys, we now have an infinity catalyst. No joke. We have an infinity catalyst. That is awesome. Now, the first thing I'm going to do with this infinity catalyst is save it. Because this can be EMC'd for 3 billion EMC. Yes, it can be. Now, the only issue I'm going to have is I don't have that much EMC. I do have some EMC, but not that much. So, as you can see there, I do have a little bit of it. Now, this stew, I do kind of want to try this stew. I guess you have to have a little bit of hunger in order to eat it. If your hunger was down, man, eating that would probably last you a long time. You would probably not go hungry for quite a while. It may actually make it so you don't starve or anything like that. And I kind of want to know if the Ender's Pearl does anything as well. I don't know. But the Infinity Catalyst does allow us to do a few things, like make a solar panel, make these awesome swords, the Sword of the Cosmos, make Infinity Armor, which makes you invincible, literally, to anything, including the Chaos Dragon. Infinity Ingots, which is what we're going to have to make. This is how you make an Infinity Ingot. It's not EMCable, but the catalysts are EMCable. And as you can see, each Infinity Ingot itself, which as you can see is used quite a bit. These are all the actually ingots. We take a look at the ingot itself, though. To make it requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So roughly, we're going to say almost 40 billion EMC plus. Might be closer to 40 billion. Since we do have almost 3.5 billion EMC per Infinity Catalyst. So yeah, that adds up. Just to get one Infinity Ingot. Just one. We have plenty of Neutronium. That I'm not worried about. Crystal Matrices? Pfft, nothing. Infinity Catalyst? Yeah, these are an issue. These are a big issue. Mainly because this would take so long to automate this. And these processes like this would be really hard to automate as well. Like, this is insane. We're getting to that point, though. This is super, super late game, where this is like really just waiting for EMC to build up. But other than that, this is looking good. This is how you actually get the tablet, though. We take a look at things this is used for. If we want to make the transmutation tablet, which is not necessary, but is very nice to have, and is probably like late game for me, is to do this. We're going to need a bunch of EMC for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 40, we're looking at tons of EMC. Like, that's so much. Like 320 billion EMC, somewhere around. And it's probably more than that. I would say probably 320 billion. That's a lot of EMC. I mean, that's a lot. Energy condensers. These themselves require some red matter, dark matter, some energy consider the antimatters, which are different kinds of relays for EMC. All that good stuff. But right now, all we can really do is make one Infinity Ingot at this point. I think we can make this thing. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 crystal matrices. We have the ingots. That we need. We have the neutronium ingots that we're going to need for this. This is where it's going to get kind of crazy. It's like draining our EMC. We have enough to pull out 16 of those. And that's about it. And that allows us to make one infinity ingot. Because we only have 5 more left. This is insane. But what we can do now, though, is we can swap out our sugarcane if we wanted to with the infinity catalyst, and we would just be producing infinity catalysts at that point. Crazy. Crazy insane. But we did get the infinity ingot, guys. Right? That was something we needed. Oh, man. Claim, infinity ingot. And then the pick is so crazy because this can even break bedrock. What do we get out of this? Come on. Oh, we got epic bacon. Pfft, none of that is even useful at this point. We are so late in the game. That is just kind of like a blur. It's quite ridiculous. I mean, I don't even want to place this anywhere. I want this to be like on a wall or something. This needs to be on like a pedestal. I mean, literally, we're gonna put this on a pedestal. Let me grab one of these. This is going on somewhere so we can just stare at it. Look at that. Look at that infinity ingot there. Ah, so good. It's like a trophy just sitting there. Look at it go completely white. But yeah, that was the process of getting an infinity ingot, guys. And the fury of the universe is at the palm of your hand. We've pretty much done everything. You know what? We never even went to the deep dark or the mining dimension at any point in this pack, which is perfectly fine with me. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Also, we never even touched tasks for getting materials because you never really needed to do that. You can do the Tome of Knowledge, which is actually something that I wanted to look at. The Tome of Knowledge gives you everything in your EMC tablet, but it requires a chaotic core, which requires us to get a chaotic shard. And I don't think this is EMCable. No. But the chaotic shards, you get those from fighting the Chaos Dragon, which would be nice to fight the Chaos Dragon if we had quantum armor. But I don't have the highest tier quantum armor or fully upgraded draconic armor, so that probably won't be happening anytime soon. But as you can see, it unlocks everything in your transmutation tablet. That means everything that is EMCable will be inside here and can be pulled out, which is quite ridiculous. This is even quite ridiculous. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I know it was a little bit shorter than normal, but if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video a thumbs up. Guys, we are approaching the end of this StoneBlock series, but keep in mind that coming up real soon on the live streams, if you guys are keeping up with my Twitch live streams, on Friday, this Friday coming up, which I think is, let me take a look, it's like the 16th, I do believe is when we'll be live streaming. Yeah, it's November 16th, Friday, November 16th. At 5 p.m., we will be doing a live stream on the StoneBlock server. And from there, we are all going to be gathering together and seeing how fast we can play through this pack together. So, I hope you guys are ready for that. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.